Morning, folks. Live stream, surprise live stream. Morning, cup of Joe. Not coffee. I drink green tea. See there? A little sip here. Okay. Just getting up. Just starting my morning. Well, I say I'm just getting up. That's not 100% true because I got up about 3:30 in the morning to go to the bathroom, and then after that, couldn't get back to sleep. Which is I'm not an insomniac. I'm not. I'm far from an insomniac. I have more trouble staying awake than I do falling asleep sometimes. But yeah, so then I think I stayed up from like 3:30 to like 5 o'clock, and then I think I dozed off again and got up at 7 a.m. So I'm a morning person. I'm a morning person. I'm a morning person, but that doesn't mean I like to get up at 3 a.m. No, 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 no. I like to get up about 7 a.m. Seven's the time. If I could go to sleep from my ideal time for sleep would be probably say 1 a.m. If I could fall asleep at 1 a.m. and wake up at 7, I get 6 hours, 1 to 7. That's perfect for me, I think. Um, so let's see what's going on today. If anybody's here, we have any comments or anything. Got some people watching. But yeah, it's early in the morning. People getting ready for work here in the east. In the east, I know that it's just about 8 a.m. We're about 7:59, about to hit 8 a.m. So I'm here just to I don't know, hang out and talk. But I like to see a comment or two just to know that everything's working okay. That people are out there. People are picking up the live stream. And there's one by Beetle Eddie. Good morning, Eddie. Yes, indeed. Great news. He says, great news, fellow Beatle fan. And of course, we're talking about the announcement of all the stuff that's going to be coming out for the Beatles in the next month. And hello, Henry. All right. So I'm just really coming to my senses. I'm just waking up. I say I'm just waking up. Not exactly, but kind of. All right. George Wildheart asked me, "Hey Joe, how was Bazooka Joe at the record store?" Bazooka Joe is doing well, but he's getting treatment at the moment, and that's about all we can say. So, hope that's going good. Claire, hello, Claire. What is the reason do you think that there is no CD for the single? I don't know. That's very strange. I don't know that I don't think they think of CD singles as very important. I don't think they think that many people bother with CD singles anymore, which is silly. Maybe there'll be a CD single somewhere down the line. For the song Now and Then. We're talking about the new Beatles song coming out. Um, but it's funny because there's already a cassette single. There is a cassette single, and that's strange. Like, why would there be a cassette single? Do they think singles are more popular than CD singles? If anything, I would think it'd be the other way around, huh? Sorry about the swallowing. That's the only downside. Got the microphone here, you can hear everything. Hi, Andrea. Andrea, good to see you here. Great new title. Yeah, I call it Cup of Joe when I do a morning show. I guess really early like this, I call it a Cup of Joe. Um, hello, Naz. It's Naz 67. Yeah, Henry says that Doc Doc is showed the cover for the new Beatles song on his show yesterday, and everyone thought it was bland looking. Yes, indeed, I do think it's bland looking. It's a terrible cover. Hello, Alan C. Records. Good morning. Yeah, he's telling me Alan's saying what the things he ordered. I actually placed an order. I hadn't placed an order for most of the day. And then in the evening, I place my order, and I can't even remember everything I'm getting. I'm getting the 12-inch black vinyl of Now and Then. I decided to get the marble colored 7-inch vinyl, and then I got the cassette single, and finally I got the 6 LP box set of the Red and the Blue albums, Red and Blue vinyl. Eddie heard that there's a possibility that Love Me Do, the flip side of Now and Then, is going to be redone with today's technology by Peter Jackson. I have not heard that, so I don't know. Henry wants to know, do I ever drink coffee? Well, like I say, this is green tea. Hold on a minute, I'll answer that. The answer to that is I'm no longer a coffee drinker for a couple of reasons. I don't want the caffeine. This is decaf tea, but it doesn't matter because you can get decaf coffee also. I was never a big coffee drinker. I always I like coffee. I do like it, but I was never a big coffee drinker. But 10 years ago, I got really sick for some reason. I don't know if I got a bad pot of coffee. I went to a restaurant and I had a lot of coffee. And that evening, I was puking my brains out of coffee all night. I have no idea why. It might have been just a bad. I don't know. It was the acid. Maybe it was the acidic content. Whatever it was, I said, okay, that's it. I'm never going to have coffee again. So okay, George Wildheart, Shady Dog Records. Okay, well, like I said, you could always add that to the comments because he does. Bazooka Joe does read the comments under the video that he left on my channel. Okay. Yeah. Alan says, I wish there was some way to highlight the comments here. There's no way to do that, right? You could pin the message, but you can't. All right. Alan says, eventually I will get the colored vinyl box set. Wait for a sale price. And yeah, it's very expensive. Very expensive. I think it's like I think it's $80, around about $80 per box set. It's $160 for both of them. That's high. Adam Finley, I hate the cover. I hate the cover of the new Now and Then single. Yeah, I said that. Yeah. Hello, Darren Gamble. How are you? What's going on? Good morning. Now, I want to also say here that so I'm just waking up. Just getting up, getting started here. So that's why I'm a little out of it. But tonight I'm going to be doing a big panel live stream. You might know that. We're going to talk specifically about the Beatles' new Now and Then release and the Red and the Blue and all the variations and what we think of everything. It's going to be live tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll mention that a few times during this. 8:30 p.m. Eastern right here. We're going to be talking about it with Kit O'Toole, who's going to join me, my Talk More Talk co-host. Also, my Talk More Talk partner, Tom Hagnotti, is going to be joining us. So we're going to have Tom Hagnotti, we're going to have Kit O'Toole, we're going to do a three-way panel, and there's a possibility, I won't say who, that a mystery guest may join us. I'm not going to say who it is. You may guess, but I'm not going to answer. So guess all you want. I don't care. We have a fourth person that may join us, but I'm not really mentioning that person because I'm not sure the person can make it. But so maybe there's going to be like three of us tonight, maybe four of us discussing all things Beatles new releases. 8:30. Is Don doing okay? Don is always Don, George. He's got health problems now, but he just keeps going. So Elliot, good morning. Good morning, Elliot. Will the color vinyl of 62 to 66 or 67 to 70 be available in retail stores? I don't know. I don't know. So what I went and did, Elliot, was I ordered it. Now I don't really like ordering things online. I hate it. I don't want things coming damaged. I don't like things coming late. But I ordered the red and the blue combined slipcase, whatever it is, box of the together. I ordered that off the Beatles website. Whether that was a mistake or not remains to be seen. One of the big problems is, as I've said before, I said in a video that I made, I am not going to be in town when it's released. I'm going to be away in another state for a wedding. I'm going to be at a wedding, and I'll be gone for a few days during when Now and Then drops, and when the release date of this stuff. So it's going to be a little weird. I think things are going to be shipped to my house, or whatever where I live, and I won't be there. So all right. Astro Zombie, what's up? Yeah, well, the thing about the cover of Now and Then is, excuse me, you know, it's just bland with just the words Now and Then on them. No pictures of the Beatles, no images, no, so many great photos you could use of the Beatles. Yeah, Beetle Eddie says I heard Now and Then is going to be very emotional. Could imagine when Paul is singing "I Don't Want to Lose You" that we could tribute to Paul not wanting to lose John. Yeah, it's going to be emotional. This whole release of this thing has really been a pet project of Paul's. He's the one who really wanted this thing to come out. He's the one that really was pushing for this the most. He's been wanting to finish this off for a long time, and the results will show whether or not it was a good idea or a bad one. Because I have mixed emotions about this. I mixed feelings and hopes. I'm not really sure that this is necessarily a great idea. I'm not really sure it's going to be a good song, but I'm reserving my judgment on that, of course, until I hear the finished product. Hello, Oliver. Oliver Grant says, "Good morning, Joe. What's your favorite John and George guitar playing? Paul's bass playing and Ringo's drumming." Oh, well, That's an interesting question. I wonder if anybody asked me that. Well, I like John's playing on. The first thing that comes to mind to me is "Get Back." I like John's guitar on "Get Back." I think it's wonderful. I like George and John together when they play on "Cry for a Shadow," the early instrumental. Um, George's guitar playing, the one that I always pick out is it's not even on a Beatles song really. It's on Back Off Boogaloo. I like his playing on Back Off Boogaloo. I like George's playing on Day After Day by Badfinger. I like George's guitar playing on let's see, um, Cheer Down. George's guitar playing, most of it I like best on after the Beatles, I think. Um, but there's little touches that I like. Like I like the way he plays on Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby. I like that. Okay. And as far as Ringo's drumming, well, I love him on the song Rain. Um, I think Rain is probably one of my favorite Beatles drummings of all time. I'm trying to think, there's got to be other ones that really stand out to me. That's the number one Ringo one, but I don't want to miss too many questions here. Paul's bass playing, wow. Uh, I like the bass playing on Old Brown Shoe, but people say that Old Brown Shoe may be actually George playing bass. I'm not sure of that, but I like the bass playing on there. I actually like the bass playing on the cover of the song "Boys" that they do, the Shirelle song. I like Paul's bass on that, and Of course, in the solo years, I love his bass on "Silly Love Songs." There's a few for you. There's probably others. All right, where are we at here? I lost my place. Sorry, folks. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, Elliot asked me, did I order the Target now and then in red? I really want the red one. I really do. We may have to do that. We may have to go over to Target and the Target website and do that. The bad thing here about having a cup of morning tea is that if I don't drink it fast enough, it's gonna get it's gonna get cold. So I gotta keep up with that. Hmm, okay. Hopefully, all right. So yeah, I do want to get the red one. See, I don't want to get all of them, but by the time I'm done, who knows? New Day 42. Thank you very much for your positive comment. Glad you like the channel on YouTube. Hello, Vivian. Good morning to you. I dislike the cover. I have mixed feelings now too. Paul's based on Hey Bulldog rocks. Yes, it does. Paul, you know, Paul's the best at the musician of the Beatles, I think, with Ringo a second. That's just my opinion. Shane, hello, Shane Rocky asked, what made me such a big Beatles fan? Well, as far as I can remember, I was born in 1962, so I missed Ed Sullivan. I didn't see Ed Sullivan. I was born in 62, and when I was about 3 years old, I used to love the Beatles songs like She Loves You and Help in 1965. My mother always said, "You love the Beatles." I loved music when I was like 3 years old, and my favorites were the Beatles. And then the Beatles cartoon on Saturday mornings came on, and I used to watch the Beatles cartoons. So I was like 3, 4, 5 years old when I first was liking the Beatles through the Beatle cartoons and some of the Beatle records that my aunts and uncles, relatives would buy me, and I'd be home listening to those 45s. I had the picture sleeve of the American picture sleeve of Nowhere Man. I had We Can Work It Out, Day Tripper. Those are two 45s I remember having as a child, and I just loved them. And that was when I was like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. Well, then as the days went on and I got to be older, I kind of lost interest in the Beatles until I was around 12, 13 years old in the 70s. And a friend of mine who lived across the street had all those records. And I went to see his record collection and I said, I remember these guys, the Beatles, from when I was like 5. I remember that. And that's when I was hooked. Then I really became hooked in like around 75, 1975, something like that. So that's my story. Yes, Ringo's drumming on A Day in the Life is great. There's a lot of them. I'm just, it's early in the morning and I'm trying to think of everything, and there's so many comments. I want to keep up with that tea before it gets ice cold. Ah, the benefits of green tea. I hope there's benefits. Um, yeah, I believe that's the back. Elliot says there's some confusion as to the now and then picture sleeve. There's the words on the cover, but the site also shows a picture of someone and the artwork of the clock. That's the back cover. I believe the front cover just says now and then. You flip it over, and the back cover has that stupid image on it. The back cover sucks too. I'm sorry. I heard that the artist who does the artwork for the terrible looking now and then single cover is the same artist who did McCartney 3, the die on it. McCartney 3 cover I like, even though it's also pretty simple, but I like the McCartney 3 cover. It's just now and then that I don't like. Lingo McHarrison, hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of people are saying, and you can include me among them. It's too bad they didn't include Real Love, Free as a Bird, also. And I like that you say Grow Old with Me too. They should have made an EP. This thing should be an EP. They can call it. It's a good title. Could still call it the Beatles Now and Then, but they should have had all the songs on it remastered with the modern mal technology, whatever it is, the technology they're using now for Now and Then. They should have revamped Free as a Bird and Real Love, brought the piano and John's vocals up because you see there were a lot of home demos around, home demos. Phew, man, there were a lot of videos around YouTube. Fans have tried to improve the sound. They've done better than the single of Free as a Bird. Too bad they couldn't do that as well. It would have really been good if they did that. So it's a real lost opportunity, and I think it was stupid because it would have been so much better putting them out like that. Yeah, Henry says John played bass on Helter Skelter. I like John's bass. It's funny. A lot of people say John's bass on Helter Skelter. A lot of musicians say it's not very good technically, and if there's some mistakes he makes or something, I don't know. It sounds great to me. It's got that gritty sound, and to me that gritty bass sound makes the whole Helter Skelter song. That and Paul's screaming. Okay. Do I have any memory of when Abbey Road and such were first coming out? Pirate Gamer Boy asked me. There's a video I've been meaning to make. I actually have no memory at all of any of the Beatles stuff coming out when it was first released in the 60s, with the exception of two possible. One of them is Magical Mystery Tour, and the other one is Hey Jude, the single. Those are the only two that I have somewhat of a memory of. I would be 5 and 6, respectively, for each one of those, and I have a memory of those. I've been meaning to make a video for years on that. I'll save that for a video someday. Thank you, Shane. I'm glad you like the channel. I'm so glad. I gotta say, I have to say, folks, can't really look it up here too well. Um, I have to say, I did really well by putting this video up. Yesterday, got a lot of subscribers, new subscribers. Yeah, wow, wow. I gained about, by my calculations, about 82 subscribers. And I thank everybody out there. If anybody happens to be watching me who's a new subscriber, let me know. But because I'd like to say hi. Yeah, it looks like I got about 82 subscribers just out of one video, and that never happens, really. So I appreciate that. Wasn't I into Elton John in the 70s? Yeah, well, absolutely. Elton John. I loved Elton John in the 70s, and he was one of my, what do they say, childhood paintings. Like it kind of like painted the background to your life. When I think of my childhood in those days, Elton John's all over the place on the radio. You know. Yeah, I didn't mention we talked about good guitar playing from John. I should have mentioned on All My Loving. He's got the guitar triplets that I like on that very much. The guitar triplets of All My Loving. I like John's lead that he plays on You Can't Do That. So yeah, Elliot says he likes Paul's fuzz bass on the new Rolling Stones song "Bite My Head Off." That's very good too. I also like Paul's fuzz bass on "Think for Yourself." I agree. Not including "Free as a Bird" and "Real Love" was a big, big, big stupid mistake. It was. I know whatever their reasoning is, fine, in their minds, but in my minds, and obviously in the mind of a lot of you out there, not so. It was a big oversight, big missed opportunity. All right. Rick Italiano says, "Don't bother me." A song that I like. Rick says, "Don't bother me." Should have been included instead of "Roll Over Beethoven." George's first song and a great one. I agree. I did not like the idea they put "Roll Over." I like roll again. You gotta always say I love "Roll Over Beethoven" by the Beatles, but I didn't think we needed it on that at all. And there were some other songs too. I didn't think we need cover songs mostly. Um, I don't like that they put "You Really Got a Hold on Me" on there. I love "You Really Got a Hold on Me." Love that one, but I don't want it on there. I think "Don't Bother Me" would have been a much, much, much better choice. But the thing about this is, of course, you're always going to have different opinions. That's the whole thing. You're always going to have different ways of looking at things. Everybody's going to have their own list. Good morning to DJ Trish. Mix 64 suggests those two songs will be redone for the anthology reissue. Maybe that's what they're thinking. You know. And then he writes more money. Nobody yet has used the cash grab nonsense on me. And I'll let you have it as soon as you do, because I mean, come on with that. I'm not saying that Mick 64 is saying that. He hasn't used the term. There it is. Pirate Gamer Boy cash grab. Yeah, it's ridiculous. People are so stupid. I'm sorry, but sometimes I say it the way I feel it. That's it. It's a stupid thing to say, not that the people are stupid. Because everybody's looking to make money. Everybody's been looking since the beginning of time, since men were cavemen, since people would trade their I don't know, trade their rocks for I can't think what the word is. Not cash, for what's the word I'm looking for? I want to say collateral. That's not the word either. But ever since they did that, people are looking to make money. That's what business. If you're in a business, you try to think of the best product and as much product as you can put out in order to make money. It People say cash grab as if it's something brand new, as if it's something that's never been heard of before, something that's a new 21st century phenomenon. It's not. Woke up to nature's call and noticed you're alive. He's alive. Oh, Trish, too much information, Trish. No, but nature's call's all right. And yes, Norman Maslov says no thing is a cash grab because no one is forced to buy it. That's another reason. It's not a cash grab because and people hate hearing that. They think that when somebody says you're not forced to buy it, nobody's putting a gun to your head to buy it. They always say, "Oh, that's what everybody says. It's the same old line. Nobody's forcing you." It's right. Cash grab means they come in with their hand and they trick your cash and they grab it from you. They don't. You give them your cash if you want to, and you don't have to. You don't have to do it. Ollie Perry says hello. Is Talk More Talk this Monday? No, it's not. We're not having a Talk More Talk this Monday. No, we're not. I feel like there's other things I'm doing Monday, and I can't remember what they are. How do you like that? I got so many things. No, not this Monday. I think the Monday after that. The Monday after. Currency. There you go. Currency, Joe. Currency. Bit song. Amazing how you can't think of words sometimes. Okay, let me mute the mic and take another gulp of tea. Green tea. James Gracia says, "Good morning, Joe. Ready for your trip?" No, no, I'm not. If anybody's listening here in the family or anybody. I'm not ready for the trip. I don't want to take a trip. I don't feel like getting on a plane. I don't feel like going to Oklahoma. Oklahoma was never like this. I do not want to go. I do not want to go. I do not want to go. Only because I don't want to fly. I don't feel like flying. Not because of fear of flying. I'm not afraid of flying, but I'm worried about other things. I'm worried about disease. I'm worried about there's all kinds of nightmares they report now and all kinds of mishaps, and flying these days is a real headache. So the way I'm trying to look at it positively is I hope to have a good time at the wedding I'm going to, and I'm hoping that I have some good videos to make there. Maybe I could, could make some good videos. So anyway, hello to Melinda Murphy. Good to see you here, Melinda. You probably already answered this, but what did you order? Well, I did answer it, but it's okay because I was going to make a video of it too. What I did was I got the 12-inch black vinyl of Now and Then, 12-inch size. Then I got 7-inch marble vinyl. Then I got the cassette single, so that's three. And then finally, I went ahead and I got the red and the blue 6-pack vinyl. In the whatever it is, the box or the sleeve. So that's what I got. And Pirate Gamer Boy says you should visit a record store in Oklahoma. Well, we're not going to have a car. We're actually not going to have a car while we're there. Somebody else in the family is going to be like transporting us back, everybody where we got to go. We're not going to have our own car, but there's Ubers, I guess. If I could find a record store that's close enough to the location of where I am in Oklahoma, it would be a good video, and especially to try and get a hold of something to do, anything to do with Now and Then while it comes out, because the day it comes out, I'm going to be away. So it would be nice. I could even go to a Target because I really would like the Target red vinyl, and I'm kind of waiting maybe to go to a Target store. Maybe I can go to a Target store in Oklahoma if they have it. All right, let's see. Hmm. Will I visit Jeff Kendall from Oklahoma? No, I will not be visiting him. I don't think we're not in the same parts of Oklahoma. Yeah, Ollie, we've been talking about that. It's kind of surprising that there's no CD single for Now and Then. That's really bizarre. It is. Got to say. DJ Trish says you have 14K subs. Congratulations. Thank you. And as I say, I had I had like 13,090 before I put yesterday's video up, but now I went to 14,172. Um, and that's because people like watch the Now and Then video, I guess. You know. Yes, give Joe a thumbs up. Anybody out there want to contribute? I definitely would appreciate that, and a thumbs up. Not necessarily in that order. You Beetle Eddie says there's going to be a movie he heard coming out about Priscilla Presley. I couldn't care less, to tell you the truth. I mean, nothing wrong with giving me the news. I'm an Elvis guy. I like Elvis, but I don't care. Let's see. Elliot says, I hope McCartney reissues the Denny Lane album Holidays. Good way to raise money for Denny. It's more of a Wings LP. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Pirate Gamer Boy quotes CDs are dead. Yeah, that's what they think. He said that about vinyl once. This is probably the last sip of my tea. It's almost gone. That's the end of my green tea bag. All right. I agree completely with DJ Trish. CDs still live. Check out DJ Trish's channel too. DJ Trish is really big into CDs and she's got a cool channel. DJ Trish, she's right down there. And she took you all over her adventures in New Jersey. All right. Lucas says they supposedly played Now and Then on the radio this morning. Well, I hope they didn't hate it because I know although I'm reserving the proper judgment until I actually hear the finished work that they did on it. I do not like the demo at all. I did not like it at all. Elliot reminds us that the George Harrison reissue LPs on Dark Horse Records are coming soon, and I will not be buying. Uh. If you're listening out there, Harrison Estate, you want to send them free, that's okay, but I'm not buying them. Am I interested in this year's Christmas mix? DJ Trish, when it comes from your love, I'm always interested in the Christmas mixes from you. I always appreciate them. I don't want you to go to extra work or extra trouble, but it's become a tradition in a lot of ways with you. So I actually am always proud to get a DJ Trish Christmas mix. Don't forget, Trish, you are the first person when I joined the vinyl community almost 12 years ago now. It'll be 12 years in May. Can you believe it? You were the first person that actually sent me VCLT, and that's what they call a Vinyl Community Love Train. And I remember she said, "Would you be interested?" I just joined, and she sent me a message. And she said, "Would you be interested in a little VCLT?" And I said, I wrote back, "What's VCLT?" And she said, "Vinyl Community Love Train." And I said, "Oh, sure." You know, so those are memories. Um, Good morning, James. James Kellerman says, "How much money did you spend in pre-orders for Now and Then?" You spent about five. James spent $500. I know the amount. 286. I sp- I spent $286 on those. Some of those. I did not get all of them. Again, people say he gets everything. He's got to have everything. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. It remains to be seen how far I'm going to go with this. I couldn't decide when it came to the 7-inch record. I passed on the black vinyl 7-inch, and I had to decide whether I was going to get the white, the marble, or the blue. I only wanted to get one, so I got the marble for the 7-inch. But the blue is cool too. So there you go. I want to remind people we're about 38 minutes in. I want to remind everybody, if you don't know, tonight we're going to be doing a big, hopefully fun and exciting panel discussion live like this, but I'm going to have two other people, maybe three. It's going to be at the time is going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Mark it down, set your timer, whatever you do these days. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk all about this stuff. We're going to talk all about what we expect, what we like, what we don't like, what we bought, what we didn't buy, everything to do with the Beatles Now and Then and the Red and the Blue reissues that are coming out. We're going to do a live panel. It's going to be me, it's going to be my co-host from Talk More Talk, Tom Hunyadi, and Kit O'Toole. So there'll be three of us there. And then the question is, we have a mystery guest that may join us, but we're not 100% sure he can make it. And I won't say who that is, but he said, just tell him maybe I'll make it. I don't know. And I said, okay, so we'll do that. Records and CDs are better than drugs. You said it. You said it, Trish. You say I concur. Melinda asks, "Was there a shirt or piece of merchandise that caught your eye, even though you didn't order it?" I went on the Beatles site, and I personally didn't see whenever I was looking at, I didn't look at any any like swag. a merch. I basically just was looking at the records, the audio stuff, and the cassette tape. Did you get? You said which? What did you get, Melinda? Which one did you order? As far as you know, shirts or some kind of merchandise. Alex, I can say it. Alexis says, any new? Sorry about that. Any new hobbies you picked up in retirement? Um, the only hobby I picked up is trying to do steady walking, steady movement, because the easiest thing to do. I used to be a mailman, and I used to walk every day. Walking was a natural part of my day. It kept me alive, I think. And a year and a half now, not walking every day for work. My biggest hobby, if you could call it that, is to be a mall walker. I usually walk in the mall, and sometimes I do it every day, and I'm on a good path. I do that mainly to keep the circulation going, to keep the body active, to keep the knees in shape, the legs, the heart. Um, However, sometimes I get lazy and I get, or sometimes just things happen. Like yesterday, I didn't walk yesterday because it was the big announcement live of the Beatles Now and Then came out. You know, so I didn't walk. I was here all day. But anyway, yeah, that's my biggest hobby. I guess you could call it a hobby. No one ever talks to Ringo about Ringo Records. I'm reading the rest of it. Yeah, I know. That's why there's certain people that are not qualified to do Beatles interviews. you know. So, hi, Mark. I really dislike Bob Dylan's song "Roll On, John." I think it's the laziest lyrics from him. You mentioned some of the lyrics in there. Yeah, I can't. He does all this name checking. A day in the life, come together, Ballad of John and Yoko, instant karma, all referenced in Dylan's song "Roll On, John." I am a Dylan fan, but I think number one, the song tribute came way too late. By the time, I mean, he was really late. 2012, he decides to write. In 2012, Dylan decides to release Tempest, a John Lennon tribute song. And in addition to that, I just thought the lyrics were very unworthy of Bob Dylan's greatness. They shot him in the back and down he went. Something like that. Terrible. Um, let's go. What do you think the 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper are? I had no idea there were 23 flavors. Melinda Murphy says, I bought a beautiful white sweatshirt. Cool. And the colored vinyl box set of the red and the blue albums. I know the white sweatshirt's going to look great on you. I know it. As far as at least you got the box set. I occasionally, I've been watching your videos, of course, on and off, and I know you've been kind of like trying to, like we all are, trying to wean yourself off some of your vinyl. And I think the Beatles were in there, some of the Beatles vinyl too. You know, the website also had a cool black revolver sweatshirt. That sounds good. Didn't Matthew Street post a different cover art? Yes, he did, but that's the back cover. That's all. The front, remember, there's two sides. The front cover says Now and Then. You flipped it over. The back cover has a picture of the whatever that thing is, a clock or whatever that stupid thing is. So, and Beetle Eddie wants to know why Love Me Do. Well, I guess they put Love Me Do on there to accentuate the now and then aspect. The first single that the Beatles had, Love Me Do, and the last single, supposedly. So that's why I think they put that on there. Oh, that's interesting. Elliot says he just got the album Hark on vinyl by the Fab Four. Uh, Melinda says the weeding out of records is a very imperfect process. Well, me too. It's very imperfect, and the reason it's imperfect is because well, for me, I've gotten rid of stuff, but I have not gotten rid of as much stuff as I really wanted to in the beginning. So, yeah, while I'm doing that, I'm like, nah, I can't get rid of stuff. Now I'm buying stuff that still stuff that I don't know why. Why am I buying it? One example here, it's just at my fingertips. Two examples here, like this one here is a horror movie soundtrack. Now, I love horror movies, and this is in beautiful shape. It's from the '60s, and it's still got the shrink wrap on it. It looks like it's never been played on Coral Records. And then this here I picked up because there's one song on it I love. This is uh, Ike and Tina Turner. It's called "Come Together," but that's not the reason I bought it. There's a song here I heard. That's why I say sometimes if I've never heard a certain album or song before, and it just hits me, I may go ahead and buy it. And there was a song here I heard called "Too Much Woman for a Henpecked Man." And I said, "Boy, I like that. I'm going to get that album." But here I am again. I was going to just settle for CDs. I was going to try to get rid of a lot of excess vinyl. You know, I was going to. It's okay to have some vinyl, but I was going to get rid of like 50% or 60% of what I have, and I didn't. All right. My favorite Rolling Stones album. Do I have it handy here? Hackney Diamonds. Here we go. I do have it here. Hackney Diamonds, the greatest album of all time. No, right now, I'm loving this album. I cannot believe how I was knocked out by this. I think it's the in my list. And when people ask me in the future, 20 years from now, what are your 10 favorite albums? This may be in there. At least it is now. My 10 favorite albums by anyone. Is this my favorite Rolling Stones album? It seems sacrilege to say that, doesn't it? Yeah, right now it is. Absolutely. And, I made a video about that, about how a lot of fans they don't allow themselves to ever like say that. They won't say that. They can't say that. Like this Rolling Stones got so much classic stuff, especially in the '60s. How the hell could a new Stones album be the best or even one of the best? Impossible. Well, you got to try to get past that, So let's see where we're at here. Um, Melinda says the comments for the video that she made about purging records were filled with stories about how people regret what they let go of. Well, that's that. Luckily, I didn't let go of right now of anything important. But my whole channel started where I got rid of records around I don't know what year. I got into CDs in 1986. I bought my first compact disc. And I got rid of my records, and then I held on to all the Beatles related records till about 2006, 2005, 4, in the early 2000s. Finally, they would just sit in a closet or something. So I said, I'm getting rid of my whole Beatles collection. And then in 2011, I don't know why, 5, 6, 7 years later, 2011, I got back into vinyl again, and I regretted getting rid of all the Beatles stuff. But now I'm happy because I created this channel, and everybody watched me start recollecting again. And I started doing Beatles finds videos, and you can look them up. Beatles finds from number one to like close to number 200 now, 200 or whatever, almost 200 videos. Um, and they've watched the journey of me getting all my stuff back. And now I have a better Beatles vinyl collection, much better Beatles vinyl collection than I had back in the '70s, '80s, '90s, you know, whatever it was, '70s and '80s, I guess, because by the '90s I was done with vinyl. Um, do I think that John Carpenter's Halloween theme song is one of the best horror soundtracks of all time? Yes, I do. It's a great song, but you know what? It sounds a lot like Psycho. Okay. Yeah, I like the Halloween song, but it's derivative of Psycho's theme song, I think. Let's see. Pirate Gamer Boy says, I listened to the new Stone song Angry. I liked it very much. I assume I should listen to the whole album. You assume properly. Absolutely. You should. Let's see. Okay, I'm just reading some comments here. Henry says Hackney Diamonds over Let It Bleed. Well, it's been a while since I heard Let It Bleed, but I don't remember loving every song on Let It Bleed. The problem with it, if it's a problem, the fact is, a factor is that on the new Hackney Diamonds album, I enjoy every song on it. Every song I enjoy, which is a rarity. Not every Stones album is that, but the older Stones albums have more classics on them. You know what I mean? So this is a better album in terms of consistency to me than some of their earlier things. Whereas the Stones albums in the past have classic tracks. So DJ Trish, it's so nice. We love you, Joe. Oh, Trish, please. The tears are coming down my eyes. Thank you so much, Trish. And I actually need that today. I can't get, I could use that today, actually. So I thank you for that. Psycho's Platters. Hello, Paul. Good morning to you. I'm taking a page out of your book, taking a page out of your book with my cup. So that's my inspiration. Psycho's Platters is the master of coffee cups, you know. There we go. Okay. Will we ever see another McCartney archive box? Well, you say you'd like to really see London Town and Back to the Egg. So would I. And you also say seems forever since there was a release. Yes, it does seem like forever, doesn't it? And I have no official word on that. Nobody in the private Beatles circle that I know are telling me anything. However, I really think it's going to happen. I just think once the smoke clears with all this Beatles stuff and everything, at some point there'll be some breathing room, and I think we'll get it. Both I think we'll get back to the egg in London Town. At least I hope he'll finish. If not, I want Paul to do every album in an archive set. But at the very least, I would like him to do the finishing up of the Wings albums, if nothing else. So I think so. It's an optimistic thing, and and you got to remember in the last tour book that Paul put out, the tour book in the back says there's a little ad or something for the archive sets, and it says more coming. So that's encouraging. Let's see where we're at here. Okay. Yeah, Pirate Gamer Boy says he watched the original Halloween movie last year, and to be honest, while I liked it, there wasn't much surprise to me because I pretty much knew everything to expect beforehand, hearing stuff about it for years. That happened to me too. I did not see the original Halloween film in 1978. I missed it. I didn't see it till after I saw Halloween 2 first. Okay. After seeing Halloween 2 and some other movies like Friday the 13th and stuff, by the time I got back to the first Halloween, it was old hat. I think Halloween would have been really good in the movie theaters had I seen it in 1978. I think it is kind of affected by its sequels, knockoffs, imitators. You know. By the way, this is a good time to say I have a movie channel. A movie channel that specializes in horror, science fiction, fantasy, weird films, cult films, unusual films, and I'm talking about my site called Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Please subscribe. I'm trying to grow that channel. I'm trying to build it. I've only got about 1,500 subscribers over there. Trying to build it. It's very slow going over there. Very slow. I mean, I'm so used to the Mean Mr. Mayo channel where, I get a lot of traffic and a lot of people here, and I thank you. But over on the other channel, it's just really slow going. I'm not accustomed to that. So my heart goes out for some of you. I can relate to some of you out there who may be watching, who have channels and you just can't get them off the ground. It's just not going anywhere. It's frustrating. You almost feel like, right, why do I bother making content? Nobody's watching. But over on my movie channel, I do have people. Every video I do gets at least 200 or so hits, so there are at least 200 people watching over there. Um, Reading some comments. Nothing that I want to comment on, or respond to. Let's see. Oh man, that's pushing it. That's pushing it. Station Minute says I wasn't really liking this sleeve of Now and Then until I realized that the slanted text symbolizes the railings on the covers of the Red and the Blue albums. Well, if that's what they're telling you, nobody is ever going to know that. That's crazy. I mean, nobody would figure that out on their own until. Oh, wait a minute. Did they tell you, or did you realize it yourself? Hold on a minute. I'm sorry about that. Nobody told you that, right? Station Minute, you picked up on it yourself. Mr. Blood Vessel, what's going on? I hate Dr. Loomis from the Rob Zombie films. I hate Dr. Loomis. Let me say that again, from the Rob Zombie films. I like Malcolm McDowell as an actor, but I don't like him in the Rob Zombie Halloween films. Rick says the Beatles are the only band for me personally that I love all the songs on all their albums. Simply perfection. I agree. It's a rare thing. The Beatles are great at that. Is either every song goes from good to great on every Beatles album. Some of them are, maybe if you want to argue and say the worst songs are okay, but no, that there's no bad songs on there. And I'm not talking about stuff like Revolution 9, which isn't a song. And I'm not talking about little snippets of things like Dig It, Maggie May, and Why Don't We Do It in the Road. Those really are not full, realized songs. Did I know that Christopher Lee was offered the role of Loomis in Halloween? Yes. He turned it down. The worst mistake he did in his career. Well, he Christopher Lee was in a lot of crap, a lot of crap in later years. Hey, good to see Mazzy here. Mazzy, I'm sorry, too bad I'm not doing a live stream. If you want to join us tonight, you're welcome to do that. Mazzy, I don't know what you're doing. I forget where you are. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. I'm going to be doing just talking about the new release and what we think of everything, the items, which ones are we picking up, what do we think. It's going to be a live stream, and I'll try to remember to put the link in the comments if you're available and you want to come up. Please do. Norman Maslov, check out Mazzy's channel, of course. John Moreno says, I just subscribed to Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Thanks. Yeah, there's a lot of old movies in there. And by the way, when I say that, it's like, how this channel here, Mr. Mayo, Meet Mr. Mayo, this channel specializes in Beatles content, but there's other things too. Although my movie channel specializes in horror, sci-fi, fantasy, cult, weird, unusual films, excuse me, it's also going to have it has mainstream films, comedy, drama, you know, western. It's not just all that stuff. Horror. Do I think that Friday Music will reissue Ringo Starr's "Scouse the Mouse" on color vinyl for future record store day? I hope so. Now Elliot, you always know about the record store day releases. The only thing that I know for sure I'm dying to get is the new Joan Jett album called Mindsets. But there's nothing Beatles related. I guess people would be talking about it, right? If there was. Okay, Norman is in Seattle. Okay. Um, when you were in Seattle, were you part of that area where they took over a street and tried to run Seattle and nobody did anything about it? I was wondering if you were part of that. That's going back to 2020. The Summer of Love, as they called it. Yeah, right. Henry says, especially Dr. Loomis in the second Rob Zombie Halloween. Yeah, he was really ridiculous in that. The second Halloween in particular. Do I like Alien and Aliens? Yes, I do. I like Alien and Aliens. As time goes on, I like the first one better. I think the second movie, Aliens, kind of was what resulted in a lot of kind of jokey people on there cracking one-liners and things like that. But it's hard to put the second movie, Aliens, down. It's something of a classic. So let's see where we are here. Okay. Did you know that Sir Christopher Lee was Italian? I think he was. I think I know that. And he spoke. You know, he spoke many languages. He was fluent in many languages. I got to meet Christopher Lee in 1999 twice. Didn't have much. We didn't talk much because he had a book out, and you know you had to go up there and get his autograph at the table. So we didn't have much time to talk. We didn't really say anything much. There's a photograph of myself with Christopher Lee over at my movie channel, Mayo's Offbeat Movies, where you can see up in the banner on my page a picture with me and Christopher Lee. Have I ever seen the 1967 film Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn? Yes, I did. And the funny thing about that is I'll make a story out of it, but not too long. I don't want to bore everybody who doesn't care. But when I used to go to this resort in the summer when I was a kid with my family, we went there to stay there for 2 weeks every summer. And I went there, and I think Wait Until Dark was, well, at the time I went, I was probably like 3 years old or something. And they used to show movies. They'd have like a room where they had a projector because you didn't have, you young kids out there, you didn't have Blu-ray and 4K and DVD and streaming. So, you had the projector and they would show it on the movie projector. And they showed that movie Wait Until Dark. And at the time, when I did see it, I was only like about 8 years old, and I wasn't used to seeing a lot of bloody movies. And I remember at the end, yet I think it was Alan Arkin at the end. He's crawling along, and his hands are full of blood and everything. And I just remember it being bloody, and it was scary too. That's before we got, before we got all the slasher films and everything. Back then, you thought that was really something. What's Escape from Tomorrow? Escape from Tomorrow is actually, I know it's the name of the first episode of the Planet of the Apes TV series called Escape from Tomorrow, but I'm sure that's not what you're referring to. Do I plan on reading the Philip Norman book on George Harrison? That's a tough one. Probably at some point I'll get to that. It's newly released. The thing is that first I got to read the Ken Womack book on Mal Evans. Got to read that first because at some point we're probably going to be interviewing Ken Womack about that Mal Evans book. So I want to be familiar with it. I no, I don't believe, Elliot, that the Pixar movie, the Disney Pixar thing is happening. I think that's why I made a video debunking it. But did I ever see the movie The Lennon Report? I don't believe so. I've seen a lot of John Lennon stuff, on the net, but I don't know about that one. I don't think I saw that one. Let me see what we got here. Hold on a minute. I got a message from somebody that I may be able to talk about if it's what I think it is. If it's not what I think it is, then I won't talk about it. Hold on a minute. Give me this moment. Okay. No, it's not what I thought it was. Elliot says the May Pang movie is out on DVD. I it's funny. I saw a post from May Pang where she now said it was coming out in December. I wonder if it was delayed. It was supposed to come out this month, but I don't know if it was delayed. Yeah, I've heard of that stuff about that. I saw an interview with the journalist who tried to. That guy was. I'm sorry, but that guy was really like low for that. The motorcyclist who was in the emergency room and saw John Lennon being wheeled in. And makes a whole story about it. I did see one of those. EKR, yes, I ordered the 12-inch black vinyl. I ordered the 7-inch marble vinyl. I ordered the cassette tape, and I ordered the double package of the red and blue album, 6 LP set, red and blue vinyl. I still want to I'd like to get the red Target. It's like the red Target is really the one I wanted, the 12-inch size. I didn't necessarily want the black one, so I don't know why I ordered the black one, but I did. Just another reminder for anybody that's here now. I'm going to be doing a live stream tonight, live with a panel. I'm going to have Kid O'Toole, going to have Tom Hunyadi, and myself. We're going to be talking about all these things about the new Beatles releases. We're going to go all out and talk about everything, take questions, and you can give your opinions live. That's tonight at 8:30 right here. 8:30 p.m. tonight. Be there or be square. And we also may have a special guest coming on who I just got a text from him just to see if any update, basically saying that he's not 100% sure he can make it. So I'm not going to talk about him. He's going to be a possible mystery guest. So we may have four of us up there, maybe more. I'll ask around some more. And there's a possibility. I know Norman Maslov was here, and he didn't say if he'd be making it tonight or not, but I did put the invitation out there for him. Excuse me. I've never seen Pumpkinhead, Henry. No, I think the title put me off, although I think that Pumpkinhead's supposed to be pretty good. But all right. So are we winding down here? Are people just getting up? Are people going to work or they go to school or what? What are people doing? Kind of went to an end with the questions. A definite Paul marketing influence with all these different color variant Beatle releases. You got to realize though, the Rolling Stones have a lot of color variants with his stuff, with their stuff, a new album, and Taylor Swift has all kinds of variants too. So why am I putting my hand up to cough when nobody's in the room? Force a habit. It's a good habit. It's a good habit to have. I work from home, Tim Brownrigg says. I'm listening while working. Well, you call it working, buddy. I don't know. Work is work, but it's got to be nice working from home. I tell you, man, that's a whole nother thing I could read about. What is this thing that everybody works from home? No offense to you personally, Tim, but that's like a new thing. It's like, wow, everybody. I guess it started with COVID, right? Yes, Beatletti, I think it's very expensive for a cassette. What do you want me to tell you? Here's the thing. I agree with you. It's very expensive. You either pay it or you don't pay it. What are you going to do? I think it is expensive. It's stupid. I'm stupid for doing it. But, what are you going to do? You only live once. And it's not that I have the money, mind you. People think that this guy's rolling in dough. No, I'm not. I spend money that I don't really have to spend. But that's where the donations come in. Sometimes people contribute, sometimes people help out here. You're welcome to do that. Hit the dollar sign, and I'd appreciate it. It's not required. It is, it's not a fun thing to come out and blatantly ask, but sometimes, believe it or not, some people don't think about it or don't know, or when you bring it to their attention, sometimes they help out. That can help me get some of these. I still want to get the red. Okay. There we go. Tom Hunyadi. I was hoping you'd pop in. And again, Tom Hunyadi is going to join me and Kit O'Toole tonight. We have a special guest. Possible. I'm not going to say who it is. Tom, don't say who it might be. There's a mystery guest that may pop on if he's able to come on. He's going to come on if he can. He's going to try. And you know, well, that's the thing. I agree with Tom. You see, Elliot. I don't say there's no such thing as a cash grab. There is. I'm saying a cash grab is normal. A cash grab has been around since the beginning of time. Well, businesses are exist to make money, to try to make as much money as they can, to put as much product as they can, to entice the buyer, to tempt the buyer. That's always been the business. People say cash grab as if it's something totally new, totally brand new concept. You know, how would I feel if a U.S. Capitol vinyl box set actually happened? Um, I really would rather it didn't happen. A lot of people are hoping it happens. I might be tempted to buy it because I love the Capitol albums, the U.S. albums. However, I like sometimes it's fun sometimes being able to just collect artifacts, older stuff, the originals. That's exciting to me. Yes, Martin McGrath is the one that says cash grab. You got to remember too, and Martin doesn't like when I say this. Martin took me to task. He says, "Joe, you say that I'm a troll, Joe. I'm not a troll. Martin, since I have you here, the thing is, sometimes you're a troll and sometimes you're not. That's the facts. It's nothing I'm making up. It's stuff you've presented to me. You've admitted yourself that you often say things just to wind me up and wind other people up. You like to just make waves. You've said it. You've admitted it. You've come clean. And you come here, you like drama, you like things. So that's why out of all this discussion, I've been on here for 72 minutes. And all you have to offer this conversation is cash grab. Nothing else. You know, dissension. So but sometimes in fairness, Martin, you offer good conversation. That's why I keep you here, because at times you do come across with good conversation. Hello, good morning to Wes. Took me a while to click by, but just put my order in for the colored vinyl and CD sets. Just and good. There is alternate cover art for the Rolling Stones Hackney Diamonds. It's better. Yeah, I've seen some better artwork. So there you go. Tim says whether I take my laptop to my desk at work or work at my table at home, the end result is the same. Well, is it really? Yeah, but because you say here, some people abuse and some are honest about it. Well, there's more of an opportunity to be your own boss and play on the computer, play here on say on on other channels or YouTube or play video games. It's not as it's not as strict, obviously, when you're home on your own. You know. Hello, Sam St. John. What's going on? Sam St. John. Check out Sam St. John. Sam St. John has a channel as well. And don't forget, I got to say, Tom Hunyadi, I assume you already know, Tom Hunyadi has a, a YouTube channel along with Andy Nichols called Two Legs. It's a Paul McCartney channel. I always talk about Zapplecor says if it's not too personal, what did you do before you retired? I was a mailman for the postal service. Walked around all day, climbing stairs, in and out of trucks, lugging parcels, in and out, 200 parcels a day sometimes. Uh, Working in all kinds of weather. Yeah. A lot of people, I used to get a kick out of people that would make stupid comments and they would say, "Oh, this guy is lazy. This guy, he would never walk because, I'm overweight." They'd say he doesn't walk anywhere. You kidding me? He'd probably have a heart attack if he walked like, a block. 27 years of walking every day, more than I could say for some of you who make those comments. But I got a kick out of it because I never used to tell everybody what I did at the day because they had none of their business while I was still active. But now I don't care. Um, Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of us think they should have included Real Love and Free as a Bird instead of Love Me Do. I so agree. Completely agree. Um, what else we got? Dusty Spins. Hello, Dusty. Dusty Spins. As you know, I'm working on my Lenovo here, and I like it. There you go. Wonder if I ever delivered some rare Beatles stuff. I'm sure I did. Excuse me. Robbie likes the title, Cup of Joe. Yeah, well, that's I'm gonna use that. I think when I'm like in the morning like this, when it's a morning stream, I'm gonna use that. And my tea is all gone. I don't really drink. I don't drink coffee. I drink green tea, and it's gone. You want to know what this says? You want to? You know how much I hate Christmas, right? I deliberately covered this. It's the most wonderful time of the year. My ass! The most wonderful time of the year is the good old summertime. In the good old summertime. In the good old summertime. I thought I'd give you a mini rant there just for fun. So there you go. Thank you, Dusty Spins, about the Lenovo. It works good. I got lucky. The guy set us up at at the Geek Squad. You know, there's a guy we know really really great, and we told him everything that I needed and what I really wanted, and he thought this was the best option so far. Knock wood, but it's only been wow, it seems longer, 4 months, something like that. So yes, indeed. Well, you say real love and free as a bird would have made 600% more sense than love me do. Well, actually, I know why they put Love Me Do on there because they're calling this Now and Then. So the idea is they start with one side has the last single, the other side has their first single. I get it. I'm tired of Love Me Do being reissued. Love Me Do was reissued of all these anniversaries. I've had it with Love Me Do. Okay. As far as I had it with Love Me Do, as far as being released another 45. You know, they released it on 45, re-released, re-released, re-released many times, you know? So Mike says, I can't wait till 8:30 tonight. What's Mike talking about? Why can't he wait till 8:30 tonight? I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to be doing a panel discussion on I was going to say real love on Now and Then, on the red and blue coming out again, all the variations and what we think and expectations and this and that, all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm going to be joined by Tom Agnotti. I'm going to be joined by Kid O'Toole. And I got a mystery guest that may come on that I'm going to announce later. If he comes on, he's hoping he can make it. I think he will. So let's hope. It's not Paul McCartney. It's not Ringo Starr. So hello, Alan. Alan Cook. How is Bazooka Joe doing? Bazooka Joe is getting treatment right now, but he's doing well. And that's because I asked him, I said, you know, if anybody asks me, and they will, what do you want to tell them? I said, well, tell them that I'm doing well. I'm just getting treatment right now. And he said, okay. So that's it. And he hasn't decided, but he may eventually want to do another video. If he wants to do another video or updating everybody, I'll do that. You know. In the meantime, the record store videos are on hold. I mean, I don't know unless I can get some other footage um, to use. I always have footage of Don from the record store. That's always he's always available. But there's not much else right now that I'm getting there. So yeah, that's a good point too. Whether you think it's a cash grab or not, or it not, all these new Beatles and solo releases is still exciting, and it's hopefully getting more people interested in the Beatles. That's true, you know. And these days, I mean, the Beatles haven't been around since 1970. These days, what more excitement can you have? This is as close to Beatlemania excitement in 2023 as you can get. And I know there were people who are younger, Generation Z and stuff, who've said that, who said, yeah, this is to them, this is a thrill because this is the closest they're going to get. And you don't get hoopla and buzz like this about the new Beatles product, quote, that often. Good morning, cuz. So Alan and Elliot are cousins then, I guess. So anyway, what's going on, folks, on this morning here in the East? Did I ever think of doing merchandise for my channel? Yes, indeed, I have. And I've not done anything. I have a logo all ready to go. I just don't know when I'm going to get around and break out the money, spend the money, and do this. I was toying with the idea of having T-shirts ready for my channel at the next Fest for Beatles fans, which is going to be February, and it's coming right around the corner. So it's only like a little over 3 months away. I can't believe that. So there you go. It's sad to think that Paul and Ringo won't be around possibly after another 10 years. Well, yeah, I won't say speculate how soon or later, but the thing is, every day I'm aware of that. As a Beatle fan, I've been aware of that. I mean, I've always been, it's in the back of my head for the past 15, 20 years. I'm always thinking, any day Paul or Ringo will not be here. And I'm ready for that, prepared for that mentally. It's going to be sad, but I'm ready. I realize it could be tomorrow, it could be today. I realize this, and I just have a look at, they've both passed the point of what I always say. I think the age of 80 is everybody should at least make the age of 80. These days, I say 90 because 90 is what I'm hoping for. But that when somebody Paul is 81, Ringo's 83, so they've already hit the 80. They've made my hoped uh, goal, you know. But you just you have to put your head on right. It's going to be tough, when that day comes. But part of life. The thing that I hate the most is what happened to John. Getting murdered at the age of 40. Tragedy, unexpected, too young. George dying of cancer at 58. Tragedy, too young. Those kind of things. John Denver. Plane crash. Sonny Bono skiing accident. You know, Buddy Holly. Things like that are really messed up. Okay, I don't know if Tom's still here, but I see Martin's asking Tom a question. There's a lot of people out there too, and Martin's one of them that they just don't like that they're calling this a Beatles song. They hate that they're calling this a Beatles song, and it's like I don't know what to tell you. You know, it's a mashup. That's right, it's a mashup. You know what? The Beatles did a lot of mashups. Did you know that Tomorrow Never Knows was a mashup? They put tape loops together with other things, and did you know that Revolution 9 was a mashup? I mean, really, come on. Come on. Silly. Silly, silly, silly. Philip D says it's ridiculous that even the expanded Red album snubbed Rain. It makes no sense. Yeah, well, you can't have every song. Like I said, you can't have every song. And if you had 100 people, um, you're going to have 100 different opinions of what they think belongs on the album and was missed. That's fair. And Tom says, I'm excited that a lot of people are excited. Martin McGrath says, I'll listen to it on Spotify, no problem. I'll let other fans justify everything. I won't be one of them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not going to do I got my fingers in my ears. I'm not going to like it. I'm not going to allow myself to justify it. No, come on. Come on, Martin. If this song is the Pits, what will you say then? If it's the Pits, I'll say it's the Pits. Because Martin also has always said that he thinks that I'm always shilling for he says a lot of things just to wind people up by his own admission. And I don't shill for the Beatles. Okay, I've said things that are you know very controversial that people don't like. I don't rave about George Harrison's guitar playing. As for example, I don't like the things that Harrison Estates are doing. But so I don't just sit there and praise everything. So my point will then be right. Your point is nothing. You don't have any point, Martin. You never have a point. Very seldom have I met, or very seldom that I know of. They say that humans should live to the age of around 120. No. Diet and lifestyle are a huge factor in lifespan. Yes, I know that. But you also have to make sure you look both ways when you cross the street and don't get hit by a bus, stuff like that as well. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. But come on, I don't want to live to 120. I keep saying I'd like to blow out the candles on my 90th birthday cake, but only if I have all my faculties. If I have all my faculties, um, if I have cognitive ability, if I know who I am, I don't have Alzheimer's or anything horrible, you know, and I'm reasonably self sufficient, able to take care of myself, shape. I like that, but anything over 100's pushing it, you know, because quality of life could definitely go. Even if you live to 100, quality of life at 100, it can't be as that great. I know people who are 90 that is still fairly good, but I'm not much interested in after 90, 91, 92. But I'm not, much interested in much after that age. What was my initial reaction to Free as a Bird and Real Love? I did not like Free as a Bird. I like it better now than I did then, but I never liked it because Free as a Bird was a slow. I heard Free as a Bird before they put it out because it was on the Lost Lennon tapes show. And on the Lost Lennon tapes, you could hear that it was very slow and dirgy. Free as a bird. And I said, oh, I hope that's not what they're going to use. They're not using that, are they? And they used it, and it benefited by the other three Beatles being on it, and Paul singing a line and George singing a line, and he did a good job with it overall. But it's still, I consider "Free as a Bird" kind of dirgy sounding. The song "Real Love" I like better. I think "Real Love" is a better, catchy Beatles song. I fear, and I'm gonna say I've said this openly. I fear that Now and Then is going to be much like Free as a Bird, only worse. They're going to be very slow and dull, not very interesting, not very catchy. I'm kind of worried about that, and I'll be the first to admit it if I don't like it. Um, so there you go. Let's see. Good morning, Syndicate. What's going on? I wish I knew how. There's no way of shutting the camera off here, unfortunately, because I do have to get up and go somewhere. So I have to end this very quickly soon. About 5 minutes or so. I got to end this. Robbie says the Bible says 70 years you have. Well, as far as I'm concerned, we don't know who wrote. I'm a believer. I believe in God, the Creator, and all that. However, the Bible to me, I don't know who wrote the Bible. I it's written by men. I don't know that it's all factual. So anyway, but the Bible could be written by anybody. So I don't know. I don't play too much in that. Okay, Elliot, thank you for being here. Yeah, a lot of people say that, Tom. He says, I'm surprised they used Real Love since they used it for the Imagine John Lennon soundtrack. Yeah, but the thing is, it's two versions, really. If you listen to them close, they're two versions. There's several versions of Real Love. In fact, it used to be called Real Life at one point, and they're not exactly the same. They're very different. So I don't see a problem with it. Yeah. So I'm going to be putting this to an end now, folks. I have to end this. Sorry, I'm having a good time here. Thank you for joining me on this morning cup of Joe, and hope you'll stick around tonight. Once again, I'll promote it one more time. Tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be doing a discussion with a panel. I hope to have Tom Hunyadi there. I hope to have Kit O'Toole there, and I hope to have maybe a couple of mystery guests. We may have Mazzy there, Norman Maslov, maybe will stop by, and there's somebody else who may stop by, but he's not 100% sure, so I didn't want to announce him. But so we have people coming in surprise, so that'll be tonight, 8:30, discussing, now and then, discussing all the various formats, uh, the red and the blue. So I thank you all for being here. Tell your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my movie channel. Even if you subscribe to my movie channel and you never bother with it, just subscribe. It's called Mayo's Offbeat Movies. Thank you all. Love you all. See you soon tonight.